Hello E39 source. Today we're going to be adding the alarm system to a 10 of 01 2002 model year BMW E46 330xi. Should be the same process on any 3 Series. There's going to be 3 parts we need. Well, first let's open the rear trunk here. Take a look, and we're going to want to see this little badge here, pre-wired for BMW security system. If you don't see that, check your car probably has it. Hit your key. If it beeps and double beeps when you lock and unlock the car and your lights flash, press and hold your trunk lid button. If your alarm goes off, you have it. You shouldn't be watching this video. But you do want to see that if you're looking to add the alarm system. So the 3 parts we're going to need, you can buy it as a kit from BMW if you're very wealthy. If you're a little bit smarter than that, perhaps you can just go on eBay and buy the 3 separate parts. Part number 1 is the siren. This is going to be responsible for making the noise. It lives under the hood on the firewall. This is it right here. I'm looking for a part number on here, but I'm actually, that's probably that. BMW, let's see, 838315314. There's probably several different part numbers for a very similar piece that would all do the same thing, but that's it. The bracket could actually be a different number. That looks like 837729, and then that looks like a C. So I would check the real OEM parts explosion for that. Second thing you need is the tilt sensor. That's right here, 65758386939. You can see that, so find the part number or use a parts explosion to find that. That lives in the trunk behind some carpeting. And then the third part is the interior motion detector, which is right here, 65758379938. And that goes on the interior, where we'll get a nice little explanation. This piece comes down like that, right off of the headliner. If you could pull the key out so we don't have to listen to that. Just pry that down, you'll see this, and then up there, if you could move your seat up, please, Alex. We should find our wire, which we do. It's right there. So we're simply going to plug that into the module right there. Figure out how this is going to fit inside of the cover and snap it back up into place. So you're simply going to seat the motion detector so the obviously the sensors point out of these vents. Note that in the vents you're going to find a little bit of felt that was covering that up. So if you want that to function, just rip the felt out and snap that in there, plug it in, line this thing up, noting that the vents face the rear and front windshields, and whack it up there with your fist. So now that's done. We have one of the 3 parts installed. Let's move on to the tilt sensor, as that will be the second easiest part. We're saving the hardest for last, and I don't even think it'll be all that bad. But the tilt sensor, according to a couple of videos that I've seen, is going to be located back here, behind this carpet paneling. So we're probably going to want to remove the trunk lid, lower carpet. This thing will unscrew, giving us access to our battery, and then we'll be able to pull the carpet back and see where that goes. So if you peel the carpeting back here, you may want to pry out this little green thing. I have no idea what that's for. It's got a picture of a fuel door on it. If you pull it, nothing happens. So over here, you're going to see there's 2 posts sticking out just above your battery. One of them has a nut on it. Take it off. If you're like me, you dropped it down there where the battery lives. You spent the last 45 minutes taking out the battery, figuring out why you couldn't get it to go back in. You found a bunch of trash, a bunch of leaves, and the nut is totally gone. Totally vanished back there. It's gone forever. This damn 3 Series ate it up. So then I picked this up and found out there's 2 nuts on it. So we're just going to use those. Anyways, there's 2 holes on that. Figure out how it goes on there. Probably fold it on there, and then we need to find, probably like that, we need to find the pre-wire wire, which I'll let you know where we can find that. You will find the pre-wire for the tilt sensor taped up with the super sticky tape right about there. I had to rip all the carpeting back like this. There's 1 clip I took out right up there in that little hole. You just screw it 90 degrees counterclockwise, then you'll find the carpeting peels back like this. Plug in the pre-wire to the module, bolt the module onto the car like that, and you're done with the tilt sensor. No. So the trunk's put back together, so that's going to conclude the tilt sensor and the inside interior motion sensor. Moving on to the fun part now. The siren is located up here on the firewall. I know, fun. So let's start easy. Let's just disconnect this thing here. Just lift it up and let it fall down. Then we're going to take off some weather stripping here that is going to be in the way. And put these parts to the side. Might as well just pull this piece too, although that sandwich is under that. We're going to remove the door to the cabin air filter as well as the cabin air filter, like that. Put those parts away. Now we have 4 T30 Torx bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to remove this piece. Take that out. First piece comes right off with those 4 Torx 30. The next piece, we had this off for the wiper motor DIY. There's 2 Torx 30, top right, top left, and there'd also be a little clip here somewhere that you turn, similar to this thing right here you remove to take your filter out. Mine's broken off, so I didn't have to do that. Anyhow, looking in here now, somewhere back in here is where the Siren's going to install. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research, find that wire, and I'll let you know soon. All right, this actually doesn't look too bad. So get yourself a light so you can see back here. And if you'll see right here, the end of my left index is the point we're gonna use to affix the Siren to the firewall. Then back here is a wiring harness. We're gonna find more of that sticky tape like we did in the back, and this is gonna be the connector. It's not very long, but it doesn't need to be. So here's the connector we're gonna use to plug into the Siren module. We're gonna need a little bit of hardware with this. In the back, you're not gonna need any hardware to do the interior piece. In the back, there's already 1 bolt there. Don't drop it, you don't really need 2, that'll work. If you are looking for part numbers, I ended up buying a couple little bolts and washers. I'm not totally sure what we're going to be using, so I'm going to take this. Now, I'm going to get the actual Siren module. We'll line that up there and see precisely what we need to affix it. You need 1 of these bolts to affix the Siren to the firewall. It's 07119904524. You might want to buy 2. If you drop 1 down into the firewall here like I did, and you are unable to use a magnet, you'll need another one. I was able to retrieve mine with a magnet. Anyways, there it is, right here. You'll see the wire plugs in, right like that, and then there's going to be 1 of those bolts I just showed you right here. This piece of metal is going to stick down in that hole. It's a little flimsy. I don't see any other way to connect it, and it's not going to bounce around or make too much noise back here, so I wouldn't worry about it. But it's in there and it's going to stay, so there it is. Now, the worst part of this job probably is going to be your coding or programming now. I haven't tried this yet, but if you close your hood and button everything back up and you hit your lock button and it starts beeping and flashing lights, I'd be very surprised. The car needs to be coded and taught that it now has an alarm system and it can use it. If you want, I don't know a whole lot about this process, but if you want to try, you can go get a OBD2 to USB cable, I guess, plug that in your computer and try to change some values in your software. If anybody knows how to do that, please leave some comments down below with how to do that. Bobby from E39 Source is going to be here within the next week or 2. I'm going to have him code it. He knows how to program these cars. So it'll work, but it just needs to be programmed. So I'm going to put this all together now, starting with the firewall piece, the 2 T30s, moving on to the next piece with the 4 T30s, the weather stripping, the filter, and the filter cap. Then close your hood and go get a cookie. You deserved it. Finishing up the alarm video, it's probably been 10 days to 2 weeks since I've installed all of the components, and we now have a vehicle that, admittedly quietly, beeps and flashes, lock and unlock. Very quiet, as I said. I'm gonna set the alarm off, so you guys hold your ears, turn your speakers down. It does work. I'm sorry, that was probably very loud. So anyways, you saw how to install all of the interior parts. At this point, the car needs to be coded. Let me make this clear. We are not going to answer a bunch of questions on coding, what values to change. I'm sorry, we're not. It's not our responsibility. You can seriously screw your car up doing this, so don't do it. If you decide to do it, you should look to change values like enabling the motion sensor, enabling the tilt sensor, enabling the Siren, programming it to beep or chirp on unlock and lock, and to flash lights on unlock and lock. In NCS Expert or DIS, I don't know, there's a bunch of software. Take it to your dealer. Your dealer knows what to do and they'll do it for you. But if you decide to do it yourself, those are the kind of values that you want to enable or make active instead of not active. And it does work. it's just quiet. I don't know why. It's on the firewall. I bought used parts. Maybe new ones would be louder. I don't think there's exactly a volume knob for that, but I'm happy with that. Just like my M5, it now can chirp, and I know from across the parking lot if it's locked or not. So thanks for watching. Good luck with that. Leave some comments, but again, we're not going to go crazy into answering questions about programming. Do that at your own risk. Talk later. Bye-bye.